In this video, I wanted to talk about what makes for a good budget part for a budget build and what doesn't. So I have a couple of different sets of parts here. More or less a complete build as far as the main performance dictating components. So this is a board. It's got a chip and RAM on it that I've had for a while. I don't even remember. I think I got the RAM for free for a friend that I upgraded. No, I didn't even upgrade him. I think I just fixed his computer, and he had some old parts, and among the old parts was this nice G.Skill 32 gig DDR3 set. And then the chip I got for free in just a recycle Dell OEM type unit. And then the board I actually got from the same guy that I got the GTX 780 that I featured in a video, I think a couple of weeks ago now. I paid $25 for the board. The total cost for the board, chip, and RAM out of pocket, you're probably talking, I don't know, $50, $60, something like that. And then this is a GTX 950 that I think I paid $10 or $15 for as part of a combo of parts. So what I wanted to talk about was what actually makes a good part for budget builds. So this video, we're going to assume that you're looking to actually use this. You're not looking to do retro. So if you're looking to do retro gaming, that's a totally different discussion. Any part can qualify for retro gaming if the price is right and it's what you want. Whereas if you want something that you're actually going to use as a modern build and you just want to do it on the cheap, there's a few things you really want to be looking for. So this is a 4th gen combo. So this is a Z97 motherboard with a i7 4790 non-K, that's important, it will be important, I'll explain why, and a 32 gig RAM kit, which is totally overkill, but hey, if you can do it, why not, right? So a couple of reasons why this is good. So one, the K processor. Now, to be fair, I don't see a lot of dead chips. However, a non-K chip is far less likely, even more, to have ever been abused because it can't be overclocked, at least not typically. There's probably something you can do in software, but typically these non-K chips will come out of like Dell Optiplex boxes, HP workstations, stuff like that, where they just don't get used in that way. Another thing with this, so this is a Z97. So one of the things you'll notice here is it's got a modern M.2 on it. So there was some M.2 compatibility issues. It didn't take very long to work through it, to get it working, but there were a few issues. But once I got that figured out, we've got a modern M.2 SSD on there. So it's old. So I believe Z97 is like 2014, 2013. I think it was the 2014 refresh. So it's a 10-year-old platform. But the cool thing with that is that if you get a 4790, do not get an i5 4690K or 4590, don't buy them. They're worthless. The only chip that you want is a 4690 or 4690K. I'm not saying don't buy a 4790 or 4790K. I'm not saying do not buy a 4790K. I'm saying you're probably going to be better off if you can find a non-K. But it just depends on the owner. It depends on how it was used. Every purchase is different. Lots of cheap RAM. Don't pay an arm and a leg for 32 or 16 gigs of DDR3. This RAM's worth like, I don't know, $15, $20. I mean, this stuff's e-waste, guys. This stuff is e-waste, okay? I'm sorry for those listening that are in countries where it's hard to get this stuff and it seems like it's top-of-the-line stuff and you're like, why would somebody throw that away? This isn't some middle of the jungle, South America or Africa or something where I understand hardware is worth more, especially in third world countries. It's just harder to get. It ups the value. But here in the United States and other countries, England, Australia, some of them aren't quite as good as the US, but they tail behind us by not too far. For other developed countries, this is effectively e-waste. It is what it is. And so the thing with a board like this is, so you're getting all the modern features, You're getting tons of RAM. You're upgradable with 32 gigs. We're just now getting to the point where 32 gigs is almost a necessity. Not quite, but we're close. And it's got your full. It's got a nice set of 8 SATA ports, which is nice if you decide to do some sort of NAS type build or like a Plex server, that kind of thing. This would be an awesome board for a budget Plex server. And then it's got a full complement. The only thing you're missing is USB-C, which, I mean, look at that. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total PCI Express slots. So you can certainly add in those features, and you could also add some additional M.2 if you really wanted to go that route. It has a full complement of audio ports. So basically, this is what you always want to look for is, see if I can put that back right. Took me a minute to figure out how to get that mounted like that. Let's see. Did I do it right? Okay, there we go. Good. So you want to look for parts that are basically fully capable. And just a quick explanation on performance. I tested this board with a 980 Ti, and to be honest, the system performed so close to a newer, more modern, like 9th gen. I tested the 980 Ti in a 9th gen build as well, and the frame rate on Cyberpunk 2077, very modern game, obviously, was almost margin of error. It was a little bit higher on a 10-core i9 that was like 5 years newer. For that card, it was a few frames. It wasn't enough to affect the actual experience. Let's put it that way. So this is an awesome example of a good set of budget parts. You should, if you look, I mean, you're going to see people trying to get $200-$300 out of these. It's not worth that. This is $50 to $90, maybe $100 max. Don't pay more than $100 for this combo. If it's more than $100, look for something else. That's what makes it a budget buy. So the next item we have here, this is actually, I wanted to show this as an example of a bad budget buy. Now, I was talking to another guy on my channel earlier who was saying that, there's only bad prices. That's true to a degree, but the thing with this card, so this is a GTX 950. This card simply cannot provide a good experience in most games, even some older stuff. This was an ultra budget card, so that's something you want to avoid. Do not buy ultra budget stuff. Stuff that was ultra budget when it was new, stuff only loses so much value. Most of the time I see these 950s, 960s, 970s, I see them for largely the same price as 980s and 980 Ti's. Why would I buy a 950 when I can buy a 980 Ti for almost the same price? I may have got this for cheap, but most of these that I see are like, I don't know, $40, $50, $60. It's the same thing for a 980 Ti, same thing for a 1070, even a 1080 sometimes. $50, $60, $70, $80. In that price range, an extra couple of dollars, you're going to be better off with the higher end part for $10 more. I mean, come on, guys. So I just wanted to give kind of a quick rundown on, some examples of what make good budget parts and some examples of what make bad budget parts. So I hope you guys find this informative, and thanks for watching.